All right. Well, welcome to episode 3 of Conversing with the Griffins. I'm Tanya. This is Josh, and of course, Ryan.
You're not going to introduce or say anything, Josh? You're not going to welcome the people?
I guess he's stuck.
Hello, everyone.
So anyway, as you can see, we're already started. We're already riled up.
He said, woo.
But I want to say, or we would like to say, thank you to all those who have been watching, those who have been commenting. We appreciate, reading your comments and appreciate the fact of honestly just making you laugh, putting a smile on your face. And so we just thank you for your support. Thank you for all the love that's been shown. And we're just going to keep it coming. We are actually recording officially on Mother's Day. So we want to say give a shout out to our mom, Linda Griffin. Happy Mother's Day.
Matriarch.
Yes, the matriarch of our family, as well as all the mothers out there. We love and we appreciate you. And we wouldn't be here, obviously, if it weren't for you. So,
I would have found.
So we want to say happy birthday to our little pumpkin. our youngest brother Ryan. Actually, by the time you all watch this episode, his birthday would have passed. His birthday is coming up this Thursday. So we want to say happy birthday to Ryan. Oh, so cute. Anyway, but okay. So I'm going to kick it off with a quote, and it says, "Family is not an important thing." I can't with y'all. Family is not an important thing. It's everything. And that quote is actually by Michael J. Fox. So you know how we do. We're going to shake it up in our jar. What is up with you two today?
I was going to wait till Thursday.
Y'all are so extra today. Okay. And our topic for today is, oh God, siblings' perception of each other. Really? I can't with this. I cannot. Okay, so that's our topic for today. Our perception of each other, of each sibling. So I guess since I'm the oldest, we'll start with Josh and Ryan, your perception of me, and then we'll go in order like that. So Josh, you first.
So these topics are quite spontaneous. Not much time to process the question. So the question is really, what do I think, or how do I perceive Tanya?
Yeah.
So,
And this could be like, I'm assuming, right, Ryan, like growing up, me and the now me, or?
Yeah, just you as a person, your character, who you are from then to now.
Okay.
I view Tanya as the bleeding heart. I feel she will trip over herself to her own detriment to help someone else. I feel like she wears her heart for all to see type thing. What you see is pretty much what you get with Tanya. I mean, really self-destructive love. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, man, like if you are going through, if you've been kicked and stepped on and Tanya heard about it, she's there, giving you the hats, her own book bag. I mean, whatever you need. Like, she probably hitchhiked over there because she gave the gas away to someone else to even get to you. So I view Tanya as the bleeding heart. So she's always been kind of motherly growing up, from what I recall. There's a picture I'm thinking of where she's trying to pick me up, and I'm like almost twice her size, kind of chunky, but trying to pick me up and just be very motherly, kind of take care of you type things. That's really been a perception that she has flourished in, and now she gets anything, he's giving it away to someone else to help someone else out. And I'm like, it's okay to have something for yourself. It's okay. So, but I think she's been very protective, motherly, all that kind of stuff. And that's really the most resounding perception I have of her. Just that selfless, self-sacrificing, self-destructive type of love. Unconditional, no questions asked. When you love hard. Like you love like hard, like nuclear. So that's what I got right now.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree 100%. It's to the point where it's just like you question whether it's even healthy. Like, is that normal or is it natural type situation? Because it's like, seriously, there's really no way to describe it unless it's like, you're right, self-destructive. Like, you see what I mean? It's like, I have a choice to give you $5, you know what I mean, for you to go get a Snickers bar because you've been having a bad day, or I can put the $5 in my gas tank to get it home. Tom will always choose to give you, for you to have the Snickers bar. You know what I mean? It's a good thing and a bad thing because it speaks to like the testament of kind of like her heart. You know what I mean? I feel like she does it so much that we don't have to, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? There's got to be a balance somewhere. Tanya has taken it over. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I guess it's kind of like it's caused worry at the same, you know what I mean? Because it's almost like I feel like Tanya is one of those innocent till proven guilty, take someone at face value. Like, granted, she's grown. She's not as bad as like before, but still gotta take things at like face value type situation. We're like, I don't feel like that adds up or that doesn't line up. She's like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? But then if something, God forbid, someone were to try and take advantage, or they do take advantage, as a brother, you don't want to see like your sister upset, or, get her angry, all that kind of stuff like that. But yeah, I think bleeding heart is, that should be your nickname. I think that's quite accurate. But we love you though.
Well, I think you guys have nailed it. I do agree that I definitely, have been like that. And therefore people have absolutely taken advantage of that. But because of that, I feel like I've had to use wisdom along with, making those decisions and we have lost our middle brother.
Is no longer with us. Of course,
he's no longer with us.
Glad, thanks.
So,
he just left the chat.
Yo, only us, right? Okay, so as we wait for him,
we didn't need his opinion anyways. Apparently.
Oh, right, exactly. But no, I think you guys are right. I think that because of those things and because people have taken advantage, and I'm like really trying to hold it together and not laugh because I'm just like, Josh, what the heck? Well, he told us he was having some technical difficulties before we started. So hopefully he'll be back soon. But again, because of that, I feel like I've had to grow in that area of using wisdom and not always taking things at face value. Now I have to say, okay, let me sit back and let me watch and see if what people say align with what they do, with what their character is like. And that has come from being burned so many times by people. So yeah, you guys are right. That's one area where I definitely have to grow. I have grown, but still, obviously there's more growing to do.
Yes.
Okay, we're back. We had some technical difficulties, but Josh has moved to another room and hopefully we'll be able to get through this episode.
We're back.
So anyway, basically I was just saying that, because of exactly what you guys are talking about, I've had to, use wisdom. I've had to grow. I still have more growing to do, obviously, in that particular area, but I feel like I have grown and I've learned that you have to use wisdom, you know. You can't just take people at face value. You have to really just make sure that, you know, watch their character. You know, people show you who they are, and when they do, believe them. So, all right. Well, thank you, brothers, for that wonderful insight. So, okay. So the next one, obviously, Josh, next in line. And so
your day's coming.
I had like a feud since Ryan's been born. I don't know what's going on here, but I'll start. Okay. So Josh.
There's a heart of stone.
Yeah, Josh is like the opposite, okay? Josh is,
Thank you.
You are not getting no sympathy from Josh. You are not getting sympathy. The sob story, the tears crying, it is not going to work on him. So I feel like one went one way, the other one went the other way. So, but no, Josh has always been the type of person to me who has, honestly, I feel like out of the three of us, Josh is the most comical out of the three of us, but people don't know that because people just look at him. What'd you say?
They look at him and start laughing.
Josh is a lot more reserved, a lot more quiet. Me and Ryan are more of the outgoing ones. So people don't really know how hilarious and funny Josh is. And he will crack on any and everybody. He's always been like that. Josh has always been a jokester, always been clowning, highly intellectual. And that's what people see. People see his, you know, intellectual part, and, you know, they don't really know that he has a crazy, you know, comedic side to him. And like I said, Josh has always been like that. I remember growing up and Josh would use, like, back in the day, mom used to make us read so many, like an hour every day we had to read. And so oftentimes too, we would read the dictionary. So I remember Joshua would use these long drawn out words and not really have it in context. And mind you, he's like, this is when he's like 7 or 8 and he's using like all these long, big words, stringing them together. And I'm like, Josh, do you even know what that means? He's like, no, but it just sounds good. Serious right now. But Josh has always been like that. He's always had just very intellectual, very smart, did absolutely great in school. He has a master's degree. What is your master's degree in?
Nerd.
Nerd.
Talk about me, Ryan, not you. Information system security.
What is computer information?
Information system security.
Oh, information system security, right. And he was what was your major in school?
Geek.
Bachelor's?
Yes.
Information systems.
Okay, information systems. So anyway, like I said, Josh has always been like that. So yeah, that's kind of like my perception of Joshua Griffin.
My perception was evil incarnate.
Thank you, my Padawan.
I think I always tell people, you know, I don't know why they don't draw the conclusion. He was born in Germany. Who else do we know was born in Germany? Saying, you know, just call it like I see it, but no one wants to. He comes off as really like hard and standoffish, but I think I would just have to say like just extremely intellectual, to the point that it was just annoying. It was just so annoying because it was like I could never get. Josh is like the way that I see it, think of me as like a small time business owner and him being corporate. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was literally one of those, no matter what I thought I was doing intellectually, like I could just never be there. You know what I mean? Which was very annoying. And then he would do these things of like, if I wanted to do something or borrow something, he comes in with like contracts and business deals. I'm like 5.
He's just like his father. Just
you know
like his father.
If you sign your soul away and wash dishes for a year, you know, you can borrow my game for 3 hours. Like, you know, and I'm like, okay, sure. You know, and my,
He was
you
a
know,
little
mom's like,
hustler.
It's kind of
Josh
reverse.
was a little hustler. I forgot about that. Yes.
I would do contracts to play his video games so he didn't have to do the dishes.
Yes.
And that's how it started off. And the mom got on him, and then he started paying me. So then that's when she was like, "You're not gonna just."
I don't remember that. I remember paying you because I didn't feel like doing the dishes.
That's not how it started off.
See, Josh, he got that selective amnesia.
Yeah, that's not.
I think both of y'all just on that stuff. On the song.
Mom talked to you about it because
I remember that, Ryan.
Because I had stopped, and she goes, "No, you need to keep paying him." That's what I remember.
No.
Okay, bring her on the show.
I told you we were gonna bring Mom on the show.
Someone needs to be making a list of these things.
So yeah, I would just have to say my perception of him, just one being extremely intellectual. He comes off as cold at times, but it's not that he's actually cold. I think he just operates so much in a factual basis.
Yeah, very logical.
That people expect an emotional response or some form of like quote unquote empathy, when he's just like, well, I can't really empathize you if X and Y is Z, and you expected it to be anything other than Z. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not my problem, like type situation. So that's how I said it. He's gotten softer in his old age though. He's gotten softer as he's gotten older.
How so?
As
a little bit more sensitive.
More sensitive.
What? We need to shore that up.
There goes that heart of stone again.
Right. We're not trying to give the wrong image.
He's gotten more empathetic as he's gotten a little bit older, but you know, still annoying though. That hasn't changed. That's the same. Okay. All right. Well, I guess it's my turn.
Okay, so Ryan.
The promise one.
What? We're gonna get into that story one of these episodes. But listen, out of all three of us, Ryan is definitely the more outspoken, the more brazen, the more daring, the more, I feel like, in your face, the more Ryan was like the wild child. He was just like the one that I remember when he was young. Ryan he had like no fear. Like Ryan would leap off of stuff. I mean, he would just like, I remember in Fredericksburg, we had those winding steps that went down, and this boy used to run and just like dive head first down. And then the way the steps ended, it was like the door was right here and the steps were like right here. So it's like a chance for him crashing into the door and like breaking his neck. And Dad was so paranoid because no one could get him to stop doing that, like diving down the steps. So Dad said, okay, before you die, and this is like, you were still in pull-ups. I was like, okay, before you dive down the steps, flip and go feet first. That way your head, just in case you're going too fast, it's not like your head is crashing into the door. And somehow this boy would run and like do a somersault in midair and fly down the steps. And it's just like, it was crazy. Like, I don't know, he was very fun. Ryan has always been like, he was a really happy child, like a really happy baby. He laughed all the time. Joshua, I don't know if you remember this, but it like, we can sneeze and he would just bust out laughing. Do you remember, like, we used to do little stuff and he would just crack up? I mean, like, drool all down his chin and neck. Like,
I do recall this,
yes.
I do recall this, yes. I mean, he was such a happy baby. So Ryan has always had that fun, social, just kind of like out there personality. I feel like, unfortunately, I know there's some things that happen that I feel like kind of dampened that spark a little bit. I know one thing when Grandma Wilson died, that because Ryan was really, really close to Grandma, that really hit him hard, and he kind of went into a depression after that. And sometimes, like, depression looks different for different people. And so not everybody is like completely like down and like reclusive. I think Ryan showed his depression in other ways that led to some incidents that happened where, he kind of just lost himself for a little bit. And we didn't realize that he was really going through those things until later. But outside of that, I just think that Ryan was just, he's just a daredevil. He's just very fun, very social, very out there. And I love it because I just love hanging out, with him because he reminds me of myself, not as daring as him, but, on the social aspect, I think just outgoing personality. So.
Turn down for what?
Exactly. Yeah. Turn down for what? Exactly. Ryan was always on the turn up, always. So, yeah. Oh, I have to say though, as he's gotten older, he's gotten a lot more, he's matured a lot more. So there's that wisdom that comes with maturity. And so I think it has kind of balanced him out a little bit where he's not, he used to be just out there, but now because of wisdom, he's a lot more balanced. So I feel like it's more in a healthier state being balanced. It's not like one extreme more than the other, it's like a balance now. So
I'll accept that.
Josh?
I think he's more mature now because you learn from pain. So he has always blazed a new path. Most of the time is through briar patches. And so he's used these scratches and poison ivy and oak and all these other things to learn from these things and kind of move forward. Ryan has been one of those skydivers. He jumps out the plane. There's really no parachute, and it wasn't part of the checklist.
Right. Because he never checked it.
Right. To just jump out. And then, as he's falling down, it's like, oh, by the way, this may have been useful. So, should I phone a friend perhaps before I hit the ground? So I haven't always seen the thought process. They say I'm logical and stuff, and I accept that to the extent of I like to see where I'm going. I like to see a plan and see what the destination looks like versus just jumping out, to do random stuff. So Ryan has always been the
figure it out as you go.
Just to jump out there and where some people say, it's absolutely ludicrous. That's he thrives in that molten lava, swimming upstream up a cliff. Like that's just what he does. He is by far the most devilish and sneaky out of all of us. Yes. The things that he's done, the things that we are still learning to this day that he's done.
It's not done yet.
Right. Like the stories are the best is yet to come, I'm sure. Right. Like just when you thought, I was like, okay, well, that was a cliff. No. The cliff was a little bit further. So it's like, wow. Yeah. So, but I think, like I said, over time, I don't know if it's getting out the wild oats when you start off with, and then calming down from that, because our parents had a certain aspect of life to us, like certain things they expected from us and all that kind of stuff. And I think in some instances, if you are too sheltered, you kind of go the other way just to experience and break out and that kind of stuff to do that. And I think every parent has to go through that balancing act with the weight and the scales. What's enough? What's too much? What's too little to do that? But it's like Ryan was the baby that you can put in the middle of a cornfield and he would crawl in the only direction of traffic. and giggling all the way, like
this is true.
Yeah, just giggling all the way, and you're like, "There's cars coming," and it's like, we must go there. It's destructive. So, but yeah, I had a lot of fun just kind of watching him in the instances that I saw him kind of grow up and just how he processed things. And I'm like, well, what's he gonna do in this instance? And then naturally, whatever is the most reckless action, that's the action he's going to do.
okay, it is what it is, right? So that's my impression of Ryan. He just, daredevil, free falling, if you say it can't be done, he now has to prove that it can be, very stubborn from that aspect. Oh, you don't think I could do it? Yeah, let me show you. So that kind of thing, which I think has helped him in some of the areas of creativity, never giving up, even when people think it's the end of the road for him, it's just a curve, and he swerves a lot. So
He swerves a lot.
Yeah, I'm like, well, if you don't take the wheel and get some stability here, all the tires are gonna fall off this thing. And that's Ryan. That's Ryan. No treads, no tires, nothing. Rims all the way. Just the roller coaster that gets off the rail. It just keeps going.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just madness. Absolute madness.
Wow. Ryan, anything you want to say?
I just have to agree with it. I don't know. Like, my thought process has always been that of, as you said before, if I want to do it, I will type situation, I'll just figure it out as I go. Like, it's one of those things is like, I'm here, I see that's the destination. We don't need the map. I just know that's the direction I need to go to. So we're just going to get over there. So like, that's kind of the who needs a map? You know what I mean? It's that way. Follow the star.
And all the passengers are screaming in the car. Screaming bloody murder and holding on to everything. He said, we'll get there. I don't need the engine, but we're going to get there.
We're going to get there. And I think that, I tell everyone, I think it also depends on like the way that I grew up as well. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just kind of like, as I said, that whole different aspect between the involvement of mom and dad and with you guys versus me, as well as just the generational difference, mm-hmm. to come out, I think that had a big plan, a lot, I guess a big part of it, but I can't really deny it. I've always been, if I feel like doing something, I'm going to do it, pretty much, it's worked out for the most part. Some things I would have. But it's worked out for the most part. For the most part, I would say like 85% of the time I've got to the destination. 85% of the time I got there, was missing a few limbs, but they grew back. So
on fumes.
On fumes.
On fumes. So yeah, but I think that's fairly accurate.
Well, I think pretty much, we all nailed each other of how, our personalities are. And it's so funny how we're so drastically different. But then again, there's so many parts of us that are alike because of the commonality of being a Griffin and the way we grew up. So, all right. Well, this was an interesting topic for episode 3. Stay tuned. We got more to come.